I had time to think about what I was going to say, but now I find myself wanting to say something different. The coronavirus. This virus is something else. And I say that because a lot of things have come about. You know, people being forced to stay in. You got a pandemic. You telling people to stay in their homes for the public safety. Then you got a group of people that think it's a bunch of bullshit, so they get their guns and they go to the state capitol and they protest. Okay. They got guns. They protested. But when somebody of a different shade of skin tone does the same thing, they're a public nuisance. They have to be stopped. They have to disperse. They can't be out in the streets congregating and having weapons at the same time. And then you'll have those people that say, well, they shouldn't have been congregating. Why did they have their weapons drawn? This is America. It shouldn't matter if you're black or white. A peaceful protest is a peaceful protest. And to all you idiots out there, yes, we tried the peaceful approach. We tried the not having weapons. That was Martin Luther King's whole thing. And you see what the police did to them. Now, some people might say, well, you know, George Floyd, he shouldn't have done anything to get arrested. If he was a person of interest, he was going to get arrested regardless. That's not even a point. It doesn't matter if he did the crime or not. Understand, it doesn't matter if he was guilty of the crime or not. Just because a kid steals something out of a store, are we going to start chopping off hands? Oh, well, you stole out of the store, so you deserve to get your hand chopped off. No, because that's not the system that we have in place. So, I'm so tired. So tired. And the reason why I brought up coronavirus in the first place is because just a few weeks ago, it was about, what was the thing? Racist comments on TikTok. Racist videos on TikTok. Now we're dealing with another black man dead. Another Negro unjustifiably killed. I don't know what else to say about it. It's murder. It's what it is. It's just straight up murder. So, I've been following the story. I've been listening to some YouTubers. And isolated cases. They say, oh, they trying to make a big thing out of it. They talking about all these people, black people that they get killed. These are all isolated cases. During segregation, matter of fact, let's take it way back. during slavery. During slavery, everybody black that was enslaved did not pick cotton. This is a true story. Anybody can look it up. Everybody black did not pick cotton. Some people picked rice. Some people worked in the tobacco fields. But even though these industries, the tobacco, the cotton farms, the rice fields, even though they were separated by miles, by states, even, the whole system was bad. To say it's like saying you had good slave masters and you had bad slave masters. You had good slave masters that wouldn't rape the black women, and you had bad slave masters that just didn't care. They raped the men, the women, the teenage girls. They didn't care. The fact that you created a system where black people, where African people are forced to serve you and your needs, serve you and your children for generations. The fact that you did that does not make you good. You say, well, they didn't have any education. Okay, true. They couldn't speak the language. So what were they going to do if they had been set free? Okay, all good points. All very good points. But there's a problem with that. There's a major flaw. If white people were so great, they could have done what they eventually end up doing in the first place. Years later, decades later. When you start letting immigrants coming into the country, they don't speak the language most of the time. They're uneducated to the ways of American life. So you put them in groups and you educate them. So once you see the reasoning behind that, it's a bunch of bullshit. If they really wanted to end slavery, they could have made a conscious decision to educate free slaves so they could be productive members of society. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to do that because little did a lot of white people, white citizens know, is that in the ancient culture, in African culture, we learn to adapt to situations. We have the capability of learning. This is something, this is a gene that's been passed down to us from generation to generation. How do I know this? Because we have black people who went to colleges, white people's system, and have excelled. We have black doctors, black scientists, black teachers, black theologians, but what sports, science, agriculture, you name it, we've done it. Just as good as any white person or better. So over the years, over the decades, over the centuries of white people just having their way, my grandmother would always tell me she didn't believe in coincidences. Now, this woman was born 1928, I believe. Memphis, Tennessee. She was a few years older than my grandfather. And he was born in 1932. So you talking about well into segregation. Well into segregation. As I got older, a lot of things my grandmother told me when I was younger, I started seeing it come to pass. If something happens once or twice, it's a coincidence. Oh, it happened in this state. Oh, the same thing happened in that state. But when it starts happening on a regular basis, every year, every month, every week, in a different location, in a different state, if it's the same thing happening over and over again, that ain't no damn coincidence. That's a pattern. That's what they call a pattern. If one white cop kills a black person in one state and gets away with it, don't you think with all the technology we have today, all the media we have today, that some racist cop in another state is going to try to do the same thing? They ain't going to go. I don't think they're going to just go out and randomly start killing black folks. No. But given the opportunity, they going to take advantage of it. Why? Because everybody else getting away with it. A lot of people say, oh, well, you shouldn't bring up the past. No, you should bring up the past. Because if you don't remember what happened in the past, you're doomed to keep making the same damn mistakes. When Emmett Till got killed, murdered by a bunch of racist ass, ignorant ass white men, they got off. The people that helped them got off. They never even stood trial. Just two men. Just two men stood trial. But see, here's the thing about the law. I'm not a cop, but I know if I'm with somebody that commits a crime, I'm just as guilty as that person because I was there when the crime was happening. Guilt by association. So what you're telling me is that if I'm with my cousin or my friend and we go somewhere and he sees somebody he don't like and he just shoots them dead in the street, even though I was there, a camera could catch me being there. Nothing's going to happen to me. I don't have to worry about getting arrested or anything because I didn't pull the trigger. Bull crap. And every police officer, every judge knows that's a bunch of bull crap. Y'all gonna haul my black ass in court, in jail, right along with him. So then, how? How is it that you think just firing some people is gonna make people happy? It's not. It's not. And I'm gonna say it again. Emmett Till got killed by some racist white men. He was murdered. He wasn't just killed. He was murdered. Oh well, he shouldn't have been whistling at white women. They told him how to behave himself when he went down there. That's his own fault. But see, the thing is, the reason why I bring up that is because the police were just as guilty, because when they found out what was going on, they just let it go. Oh, we don't know what happened. I didn't hear about this until today. What are you talking about? A young Negro got killed? That's terrible. They beat him. They shot him. They strapped a cotton gin to his neck with barbed wire. When I first heard the story, I didn't know about the barbed wire. And the cotton gin, I'm thinking it's probably some little small 50-pound thing just to weigh him down. Not that I'm making light of the situation, but then when I looked up cotton gin, and I saw how big that thing was, I said, you know what? That's too much. That you shot him, you beat him, you strapped a cotton gin to his neck, and then you threw him in the river. The thing about that case is, the descendants of these people heard what happened. And if they have a racist bone in their body, they remember that. They tell their racist friends. And as they move about the country, they still have those same views. Niggas aren't shit. But we don't call ourselves niggas. We're Negroes. In the neighborhood, yeah, we probably would call ourselves, hey, what's up, my nigga? But, oh, yeah, and of course, you got people that say, well, you shouldn't use the N-word. You got black people that say you shouldn't use the N-word. But they'll go home every holiday and eat a bunch of fattening foods that will lead to health problems. Arteries get plugged up, heart disease, all kinds of health problems that will mess with your breathing. So then a little virus comes along years later, decades later, called coronavirus, and then people die because they already had compromised immune systems. But for some reason, more black people, more Negroes are dying than the white counterparts. Some people get outraged when they say, oh, what you trying to say? We don't eat right? Yes, Negro, you don't eat right. You think you could just gorge on it's like a salad, okay? I grew up not liking salads a lot. I was always trying to be forced to eat collard greens and with the big chunks of fat thrown in there. It gives it seasoning. It's some good eating. No, it's some sick eating is what it is. It's like a salad. You get a salad, you get fresh vegetables, you throw some bacon in there, and then you drown it in salad dressing. You just watered down the health benefits. You just watered down the health benefits of the salad. So even though a salad itself is healthy, the way you prepared it is not. Same thing with your collard greens, mashed potatoes, great northern beans, pinto beans, black eyed peas, corn on the cob, oxtail. What am I missing? There's so many of them. I got two competing thoughts in my mind right now. So, all these negative points that I made them for a reason. A lot of people think that China purposely was trying to kill black people. No. The Chinese government might want to see us die, but I don't think they're not bold enough to just create a virus to wipe us out. I think what it was is that they took a natural virus, tried to weaponize it, it got out of control, it killed their own people, and because people like to travel from country to country, somebody caught it, went to another country, it spread, and we're here where we are today. Trying to fight off an invisible enemy. But you know what that invisible enemy has done? It has brought people's deep down secrets to light. Gas, for instance. Gas is the lowest it's been in years. Why? I thought, we had to pay for processing. Turns out, they got so much gas, they couldn't move the barrels of gas that they had, the barrels of oil that they had stockpiled. They couldn't move it out quick enough. So in order to not lose all that money off of wasted barrels of oil, they dropped the price so they can move it out. Once they heard that the economy might be coming back, they started creeping the price back up again. But if you got that much oil stockpile that you can't give it away, like, why is you creeping the price up? We're not even out of the pandemic yet. But see, that's what they do. That's what they do. So now we know, thanks to Corona, we know that all major oil companies have a stockpile. United States has a stockpile. The oil companies that they deal with have a stockpile. Refineries can't produce gasoline because they got nowhere to put it. There's nowhere to put it. So that means people are out of jobs. Well, so moving right along, what else has coronavirus revealed? Racism. First, I heard about the price of oil dropping down because they had so much stockpile. If you got that much stockpile, there's no freaking way you have moved that much oil that quick when people are on lockdown. Nobody's driving. The oil didn't just magically disappear. and open up some space. So you lied. You've been gouging people left and right for gas that don't even cost that much. So then, social media. Now, on top of that, we have to deal with ignorant kids on TikTok making racial jokes. Well, I don't get it. I don't understand. What's the problem, huh? It was just a joke. Tell you what, ignorant white children. Why don't you make a joke about Jews? Yeah. Why don't you make fun of Jews and the Holocaust? See how that goes over. If it's one group of people that I know don't stand for the bullshit when talking about their past, the horrible things that happened to their people in the past, is the Jews. They will straight come at you. Man, I respect them for that. So, you know what I'm going to do? Because I'm not trying to do no hour video. I got a lot more to say, so I'm going to do a part 2 to this. Let me take a breather. I'll be back.